Okay, so last week we had that bombshell news drop about Shannon Sharpe in a lawsuit for SA. Audio recordings were published that did put Shannon in the spotlight, and then he subsequently decided to take a leave from ESPN for the time being. The only bright spot for Shannon came when the NFL draft commenced with the whole Shedeur Sanders draft saga, as that kinda turned the media attention away from the former Bronco. That said, one person who was somewhat highly critical of Shannon was his ESPN co-host Ryan Clark, as he kinda went in on Shannon partly for portraying the on-set media image he did on his independent podcast Club Shay Shay and Nightcap. Have a listen to what RC had to say, and then I'll break it down and give my thoughts in between.
To whom much is given, much is required, right? And once you've reached a certain stature, it's like the old folks always used to tell you, boy, don't let that money go to your head, right? And now, a lot of times people just are who they are. And you're looking at Shannon, his brand has never really been anything that said he might not be into some of the things that we're learning, right? You could go back to the IG Live, or you could listen to some of the things that he promotes as sponsors of his show, or just certain ways he talks about women during Nightcap or whatever it is, right? Like, Unc ain't never hid that. And that's not illegal, though.
Okay, I gotta pause it here for a second. A lot has been made of Shannon and the persona he gives off to his audience, and some of that is coming back to bite him in the ass. Pretty much, his brand is synonymous with the type of stuff he's being accused of. If you don't believe me, have a listen.
Is the older women trying to shame older men into picking them? Because see, not the competition. Older women ain't the competition with older women. It's them young ones.
Right.
It's them young ones that come.
Yes,
that'll do what you want.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me I'm independent. I pay my bills. I pay the cost to be the boss. You the boss by yourself. Them old young ones coming with it. They coming with it on checks.
And this is an absolute true story. I put this on everything. I was having sex with this young lady.
Hold on. Paint the whole picture now. Don't cheat me.
Yeah, don't cheat me either.
Okay.
I want details.
We're having
details.
Sex. We're having sex.
Position?
Yeah.
You know I'm the bad guy.
Oh Lord Jesus. She ain't do it, but she don't know she did.
Let's go, bro.
No, she did. That is out. And what I'm about to say is 1,000%.
Talk to me, baby.
So she passed gas.
Sir.
She said, excuse me. I said, that's all right. Do it. Yes, she passed gas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then she looked back and say, excuse me.
No.
Yeah.
How's she do it? Time. She said, excuse me. I said, that's all right, baby. I generally make them shit.
How's she do it?
Hey, she said, excuse me. I said, that's all right, baby. I generally make them shit. Ooh. It kept going. I'm with it. I'm hell with it, time.
Hey. Come on,
Both
baby.
of y'all nasty, man.
They talk.
Both of y'all nasty, dog.
Okay, so those clips, well, I'm sure he is saying it in jest, still gives off an image that kind of reflects the trouble he's got himself into. Talking about dating younger girls that'll do whatever you want, and then the other clip of him just showing his freaky side in bed. He's literally on his sports podcast talking about things he would never say on air at ESPN. Anyways, there's more old clips of this stuff from his podcast that people are digging up, but it just shows you that Shannon kind of brought this all onto himself.
Right, and like I say, people are going to feel how they feel about the age gap and what that means to them, right? My preference isn't that. If I have, and I do have a 20-year-old daughter, my preference for her, my advice to her, the things that I will and will not be comfortable with for her aren't that, right? I wouldn't be comfortable with my daughter who is 20 dating someone his age, but that's also not illegal. When you start getting tied into some of the things he is being charged with, accused with, or has allegedly done, no man wants to be associated with those things that's not his intent and that's not his heart. And so my biggest thing for him is if these aren't actions that are of him, I hope that he's cleared of them. Right. And then for the young lady, if these are things that has happened to her, you hope that she's able to process that and in some way feel like she has been not only compensated, but that she has sought and found the justice that she's looking for. But it's like you said, period. It's just a bad look. Whether it's the text messages, whether it's the voice messages, whatever it is, it's a bad look. And it's a testimony for these young men who are getting their name called tonight to keep your nose clean, watch your front, watch your back, and surround you with people who truly support you. That's your family, that's your friends, that's the woman or significant other you choose. Because those people, a lot of times, will bring you down more than you'll bring yourself down. And I think that that's what we're kind of witnessing here. A man who's at the height, talking about getting $100 million deal, and now you're dealing with this. It's about decision making, bro.
That's what it is.
Okay, so you can tell what RC was getting at here. Both he and Shannon have daughters around the same age, and he basically calls him out for dating a girl his daughter's age, and that he was uncomfortable with that. Like, that is a pretty bad look. Just the same it is with Bill Belichick and his new girlfriend, who's about 50 years younger than him. All these older men dating younger girls well below what many deem acceptable. Again, there's nothing illegal with what they're doing, but it just shows you what they're like. Also, another angle I do want to mention is something that Marcellus Wiley said, in that he actually believes that it was Shannon's camp that leaked the information about the potential $100 million podcasting deal he was about to sign. Listen to what Marcellus had to say, because it really does make a lot of sense when you think about it.
So now we find out that Shannon Sharpe from like early February to April was going through mediation for a couple of months. And that mediation obviously didn't go as well as desired because Shannon, one, didn't come to a mediation settlement. He didn't get the offer accepted, whether it was $10 million or more. But more importantly, he switched lawyers. Now, I don't know exactly when he switched lawyers, but he switched lawyers. Let's keep going, y'all. Those negotiations blow up. Now you got your new current lawyer. And somewhere between all of that, boom, $100 million is reported. And I wonder who reported it. Did I tell y'all? Y'all remember? This is a trivia question. This is a quiz. Remember who leaked the racial negotiations? Same one who leaked these negotiations. Shannon Sharpe eyes $100 million podcast deal as volume contract expires. Front office sports. Okay. You know, maybe he got somebody in there that's the homie. Maybe it's not Shannon Sharpe. But coincidence. On that Friday, that comes out. Then on a non-work day, on a Sunday, a lawsuit is filed by Jane Doe, a.k.a. Gabriella Zuniga. Okay? And that's what kind of started my spidey sense going. And then he did the video. And that made me even more riled up because I was like, what is going on here? This ain't adding up. And then that obviously culminated in a few days to where he's taking a temporary leave of absence from ESPN.
Okay, so here Marcellus Wiley is basically alleging that he thinks Shannon's camp leaked the $100 million information to the media because why else would the alleged victim drop the lawsuit after this was released? It makes absolutely no sense. This lawsuit was in the works for a while, and for Shannon's team knowing that she was going to drop the lawsuit, by him releasing the information about his podcast deal ahead of time before her lawsuit, it sways the public opinion that she's doing this to get a piece of that $100 million. See what I'm getting at? Now this is just all speculation, and no one really knows, but it does make sense. Anyways, guys, let me know what your thoughts are on this, and let me know in the comments section below.